today's video, we're going to discuss 7 myths about dyslexia. What I discovered in my own life. In a void of information, you begin to embrace things that aren't necessarily true. I'm going to go through some things that I believe that turned out not to be true because I had a lack of information and a lack of confidence in who I was. One of the myths about dyslexia is that you can't learn or you're not intelligent. The reality is more difficult to do some of those things, but it actually fosters unique ways of learning. And if you're able to embrace some of the benefits of dyslexia and think outside of the box, you're able to find unique ways of learning and how to retain additional information. It doesn't eliminate the challenges. The challenges don't make it where you can't do something, it just makes it where you have to work harder. Another myth is that traditional learning methods are the most effective way to learn, which is not necessarily true. Schools, for the most part, are geared towards teaching the masses. And if you're dyslexic, you're in the 10th percentile. So you're going to learn differently than a lot of other people. So the reality is that there's alternative ways to learn that are more effective. Actually, I love to read and write. That's kind of ironic since I don't really read that well. So how I consume information is actually through audiobooks and music. One of the ways that I started to develop a love for writing and poetry and things like that is through music. I love music that has very meaningful lyrics and more poetic lyrics. They mean more to me. And I really developed a love for writing through the music that I listened to. Another thing that I had to overcome was the myth that other people's opinion mattered. I was around a lot of people who, maybe not even purposefully, but were negative about what I was going to be able to do and what my limitations were. And that type of negativity puts you in a box. And so learning how to navigate that and learning how to take what someone's saying and saying, all right, what is the truth in those things that they're saying? But then also saying, well, that doesn't align with my vision and the things that I want to do with my life, and being able to overcome that negativity. And when you talk through different things with people, you can quickly determine who you want to have in your life. And what you may discover is that there's a group of people that you just need to separate yourself from, maybe completely, or just limit the amount of influence they have in your life, because negativity is not going to be a good thing to have in your life to help you achieve the things you want to do. Another myth about dyslexia is that it hinders you when you're trying to be correct or precise, because when you have trouble with basic things like reading and writing and math, it can give you the illusion or the myth that you won't be able to be successful. And the reason I say successful is because if you're going to be successful, you're going to have to be precise and you're going to have to be correct. You're going to have to be excellent in the things that you do. The things that separate a successful person from an unsuccessful person is the ability to do things with excellence. And with dyslexia, you have to be able to think outside the box and find creative ways of learning, which is great because if you want to be in the 1 percentile, you don't want to do things like the 99%. So it requires you to think outside the box and do great things. Another myth is that being different is a problem. As I was just discussing, you don't want to be like everyone else. The fact that you view the world differently and you process things differently is an advantage if you learn how to harness it. So if you embrace the uniqueness of who you are and being dyslexic and how you view the world and how you problem solve and how you just attack difficult situations, it's going to make you more successful. And then it's also going to give you an advantage inside the workplace or inside creative spaces or whatever arena you're focusing on. Another myth is that dyslexia makes you move slowly. So this is a little bit more nuanced because you may actually learn slower. I consume information a little bit slower. I have to learn information a little bit differently. It may take a little bit more time for me to learn the information, but once you learn that information, you can execute quickly because you now have a different way of learning. You also have problem-solving skills that most other people may not have. So if you really embrace the advantages and the ability, again, I keep repeating this, but thinking outside the box and being able to move quickly in the solution, that actually gives you an advantage because you've found new ways of addressing issues in overcoming the problems that are there. You will always have hurdles to overcome. The question is, have you learned how to overcome them? Another myth that I believed is that I needed to move quickly. Although there are times to move quickly, a lot of times I was trying to move quickly because I didn't want to be the one that was slowing down the group or the one that seemed like they couldn't process the information. So I was trying to overcome my disability by making bad decisions and doing them quickly. So with dyslexia, it may take you a little longer to learn. And if the vision is clear, then execute quickly. But sometimes you're going to need to pause like you would in any situation or any business and thoroughly analyze the situation and the data that you have to make sure that you're making a good decision. Now, once you get to that place, don't lollygag and delay making the decision. But you don't have to make a quick decision to justify that you can make a quick decision because you're dyslexic. The way that you see the world and the things you believe about the world will create your worldview and will help you or hinder you in the things that you want to accomplish. False beliefs, even if you're not dyslexic, even if maybe you have different challenges, maybe you have physical challenges, maybe you struggle with anxiety or different things, there's always going to be things that we believe that will either hinder us or will help us. And what you want to do is try to reframe things in your life to give you the advantage. The beliefs that we have will help create or discourage the things that we want to accomplish in our life. False beliefs create myths that we embrace that hinder our ability to move forward.